D11 Sports presents St. Luke's Sports Medicine Game of the Week.
We welcome you live here to Parkland High School for an EPC basketball doubleheader here this evening. Central Catholic coming in to take on Parkland. We'll have all the action of the girls and boys basketball doubleheader for you here. It's the D11Sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine. I'm Matt Province, joined by the coach, Ben Tanis. Ben, kind of an interesting matchup, right? You got one team in Central that is rolling 10 straight wins, another team in Parkland that's dropped 3 in a row, but it's an important game for the Trojans here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big opportunity for them. You know, they played them well the first time they played.
After to prepare his Vikets tonight for an angry, very pesky Trojans team. Throw out there.
Yeah, Parkland's got a lot of youth and talented youth. Central has, seasoned players, seasoned veterans, and they know, they can win a bunch of games in a row, but it can come crashing to an end when you got a team that gets hot and has some of that youthful talent that can get some momentum going.
It'll be interesting tonight, as you say, really key for Parkland to come out like gangbusters and not getting to a hole as it did the first time around in what was a 39-28 loss back on January 7th in Central in Allentown. So we have more to talk about. In fact, when we get back from a break, Nick Rivera patrolling the sidelines here at Parkland is going to tell us more about this matchup. We'll have the keys to the game, the starting lineup, and all the action of Parkland Central basketball, a doubleheader here today on D11Sports.com. It's the Game of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
For all the moments of your life, through thick and thin, Broski Insurance has been there. Since 1965, it has been our honor to be there for you and your family, both in the good times and the tough times.
Home, auto, life, and business. Broski Insurance Agency. Tradition and pride since 1960.
Parkland High School for your D11Sports.com Games of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine. A doubleheader here between Central and Parkland. The host team will have the girls first, followed by the boys matchup. And our whole team ready to rock and roll. Ben Tanis to my right. Our producer, Kevin Conlon. Nick, a little bit.
Parkland's guards, they can do a good job of getting out in transition, being able to pull up, stop on a dime, and find Siggins inside as well.
Meanwhile, if you are Parkland, you're Ed Olson, who's in his 4th year. We talk about Siggins. She had a very good game, scoring 18 of the 28 points in the loss in the first meeting between the two. But they have some work to do on offense as well if they're going to use their size to their advantage against the Vikets tonight.
Yeah, it was interesting talking to both coaches. Both of them talked about spacing. Central talked about spacing to be able to allow their guards to be able to penetrate and not settle for three-pointers. And on the other end, Coach Olson talked about spacing, but more so spacing to give Siggins room to work inside. So they're going to have to try and run their motion offense to be able to get her touches and, again, provide that spacing so that they can't double quickly. And then, he's definitely stressed about getting off to a quick start and hopefully being on their home floor, that's going to help them out.
Yeah, and deeper into the season, right? They were already without Mo Olenwine, who's a senior who is going to be the starting point guard. Now, the good news is Parkland expects to get Olenwine back Saturday, which is huge because they've been without her services all year long. Another experienced player, so that will certainly give a boost to the offense. But they've been able to kind of, put pieces together. They play a nice high-low game. We've talked about Siggins, who had 18 of the points, but also it's been a sophomore running point in Talia Zarinskis, who's made a big difference as well.
Yeah, and Coach alluded to that high-low game, and Zorinskis and Chilcote being able to handle the basketball. And, like you said, it's later into the season, and for a younger team, the more games that they get under their belt, the more reps they have, the better they're going to be. Zoe Wilkinson is another wild card there. She's another big for Parkland that's able to play that high-low style in their motion offense to be able to exploit kind of good matchups that they can find.
Now, meanwhile, you talk about one coach who's in his 4th year with 54 wins, Mike Kopp in his 46th year with 1,038 wins. Quite two ends of the spectrum. And then Julia Roth, who has been one of their top players as well, a senior, had 17 points in the first meeting. She's a handful as well.
Yeah, and they do a good job of being able to get her the basketball and be able to get her in a good position to score. She's leading her team with 12.3 points on the year, and she's definitely going to be the focal point for their offense.
All right, well, I got good news. Nick is back with more for us, so while we have a little bit of time before Game 1 of our doubleheader here on D11sports.com here tonight, let's get it back to our sophomore in charge, Nick Rivera.
Hey guys, so we had a chance to talk to both coaches before the game. First off, we talked to Central coach Matt Kopp. They're on a 10-game win streak right now. First off, he said they're going to have to battle with Parkland's height. He also said the key is to space out their offense and do not force shots. He also said that they have to control Parkland's 2 guards. Then Parkland coach Ed Olson, he says do not start off slow. They started off down 17-2 last time. He says take care of the ball and do not hurt yourselves. And he also says they got to mix up their defensive looks. All right, that's it. Let's enjoy the game. Back up to you guys.
All right, so again, a little bit more there from Nick, who we hope to hear from at halftime as well. Again, for Central, coming in with a 9-1 division record, 13-2 overall. I should say that's the conference record. In division, Central's gone a perfect 5-0. Parkland 3-2, which is why it's important for Parkland. I'm sorry, 2-3 rather, which is why it's important for Parkland here today to get back into the winning ways after what is a 3-game skid. And the hope is obviously that they can get things rolling and not get into that deep hole that they dug themselves earlier. And then, other than that, it's basketball, right? Like, you've coached, you understand the mentality. Once you kind of get the shock, the sticker shock of getting out there, getting into action, it's the game that they know and what they've been working on, and they have to be able to be convinced that despite their youth, they have a decent chance to beat the Vikets tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that phrase, sticker shock. I mean, so many games for all high school basketball, they usually tend to start off slow as teams try to feel each other out, and they're trying to come out there and throw the first punch. And that's going to be a huge key to this game.
No doubt. And I should have mentioned this right after Nick Rivera spoke, but one of the nice things about what is being done here at District 11 Sports is that if you're a student from any District 11 school, you can get started with broadcast journalism or photography. Get yourself some experience. Learn to see what it takes to be a professional. Check out D11sports.com. Follow your dream and get close to the action as you take part in our student internship program. For more information, contact your athletic director or reach out to Al or Dave at D11sports.com. Obviously, you see it's working well for Nick. He's already started his career at an advanced age. I could tell you when I was a sophomore in high school, I wasn't doing any sideline reporting.
Yeah, I mean, it's nerve-wracking up here, but at the same time, it's a lot of fun, and it's really cool to see these student athletes be able to perform at this kind of skill, and we've had some great ones throughout this year.
No doubt. And one other thanks, too, that we do have to give out is to our title sponsor, St. Luke's Sports Medicine. St. Luke's is the region's largest sports medicine provider, covering more than 200,000 student enrollment and 40,000 student athletes in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, covering 8 counties, and providing the most comprehensive and advanced treatment for athletic injuries. St. Luke's offers athletic training, orthopedic care, physical therapy, and concussion management, plus sports performance training for individual athletes and teams. During these extraordinary times, you can trust St. Luke's Sports Medicine to provide extraordinary care. Getting set. In a moment, we will have the national anthem. We'll get into the starting lineups before our initial game of our doubleheader here. Central Catholic taking on Parkland in a rematch of a game played on January 7th, won 39-28 by today's visiting team, the then home team. pep band here at Parkland High School doing a nice job performing the national anthem before we get started in our girls basketball game tonight on District 11 Sports. And why don't we take a look at those starting lineups here as they begin to announce them at Parkland High School. And we'll start with Central Catholic, a lot of experience in that starting five.
Yeah, they started one sophomore in Brickhouse, but the rest of them have had a lot of experience. But two sophomores in Brickhouse and Driscoll. But those two have played a lot last year during their freshman year.
Yeah, 4 of them, in fact, were starters a year ago, and that was a team that was the District 11 Class 4A championship team. Many of them also on the soccer state championship team, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, throughout the course of tonight's basketball game. And then Parkland, you have girls we talked about. Zerinskis has done a really nice job for this team, averaging 13.3 points per game. Zoe Wilkerson is a senior at 7.5 per game. And then Maddie Siggins, who has been the 1-2 punch scoring with Zerinskis, she's at 12.9 points a game. Jessie Schmidt, another senior. And Lainey Chilcote, who we talked about with her freshman playmaking ability, stepping in this year at point guard with the absence of Mo Owenwine, is the 5th starter here for the Parkland Trojans, who again come in at 8-7 overall, 2-3 in Division 5 and 5 in conference. And you can see the announcements getting going before the start of tonight's game.
Yeah, Coach Olson is definitely excited about his young backcourt duo in Laney and Talia, and we'll see what they're going to be able to do in this big game. Another big game also for district standings as well. Central's sitting at 2 in 4A, and Parkland wants to qualify for those district playoffs.
Parkland entering again, having lost 3 in a row, coming off a last loss, which was at Easton. And a game that was played there, a 52-39 victory for the home Red Rovers in that game. That was on January 13th. That's the last win was against Emmaus on January 13th. They lost at Easton 46-23. And meanwhile, the last game was a win, 41-24 over Emmaus for Central Catholic. They have won 10 in a row, have the Vikettes. They have not lost since a game back on December 21st at Northampton. Remember, they started 2-2. They lost their opener at home to Easton. Then after a couple of W's, lost to Northampton, and since then have reeled off nothing but victories, including that January 7th victory over Parkland, the 39-28 victory we talked about. And been about set for basketball. Talk about our first quarter sponsor in a minute, but the ball is up, and the Vikettes will control the tip and go on offense first as our doubleheader is underway here on D11sports.com.
It looks like Parkland's starting here in a 2-3 zone. Coach Kopp talked about how they're not the greatest three-point shooting team this year, and Parkland seems to have done their scouting.
Yeah, they do have the size, as you can see, some matchups there favoring Parkland. First paint touch, nothing doing, back out. Julia Roth, All-State soccer performer and one of the top players in the region on the hardwood. Comes in averaging 12.3 a game. Here's a triple attempt that's off the mark, too strong. And the rebound is kicked around. It'll belong to Parkland. Thought it was off the hand of Chilcote. The initial rule, okay, now it's changed. It was pretty clear that it was off Chilcote, and it will be Vikettes basketball.
Yeah, so Parkland got what they wanted there. They got a long shot, but they weren't able to secure the rebound. They got to do a better job making sure that they get those rebounds from those long shots. When you're playing a zone, it's a little bit more challenging to find a girl to box out.
The downside of the zone, and that time it came back to haunt the Trojans. The one thing they can't do is give the Vikettes too many opportunities. And there's a steal. So possessing the ball was a key. A great look ahead on the run out, the scoop, and the basket. And that's Zerinskis, who's averaging 13.3 per game, had 10 points in the first meeting with these Vikettes, and it's Parkland to go up front early here tonight.
Yep, there's that backcourt duo linking up there, doing a good job on the top of the zone, making sure they have active hands, deflecting a pass, and getting out on the break.
How about the vision by Chilcote, too? New to look ahead.
Yeah, it seems very seamless, very smooth.
And another takeaway, Ben. So Parkland knows it's got to limit the opportunities for the Vikettes, and they come away with their second consecutive theft and a chance to go up by a couple of scores.
And here's that tough man-to-man defense that Coach Kopp wants to run, wants to make sure that they can try to force them into some turnovers of their own.
He does not want them getting comfortable in the offensive set. Zerinskis with the ball, reverses to the near side. Chilcote, just a freshman, we talked about it earlier. Had 6 points in this team's last victory, which was against Emmaus back on the 13th.
You can talk about full court pressure, and a lot of teams like to full court pressure, but there's also half court pressure, and this is some good pressure here exhibited by the Vikettes.
Zerinskis, the kick out. They get it back. It's another opportunity, and it's off the mark. Rebounded by Roth on the misfire. But still a good look and a very patient offensive possession for the Trojans. Shot no good. Back to rebound Siggins, and Parkland again looks to run 2-on-1 break. A little Euro step, a scoop, and that one is just too strong. And it will go back to the Vikettes as Zerinskis tried to go high off that window.
Yeah, that was a great move. That very, very impressive Euro step. I thought she was going to drop that off.
Early on, it's the Trojans who have had the better shot attempts.
Maybe a little bit of reverse from the last game where Parkland's turnovers led to fast break opportunities for the Vikettes. It's switched around here.
Well, now that the first couple of minutes are underway, you got to think for the Trojans, you got to feel pretty good. You know, withstanding the first punch or the first attempt anyway, getting through the first couple of minutes, not falling behind 17-2, 4 minutes into the game as they did last meeting, it's got to give a level of comfort.
Yeah, it seems like they feel a little comfortable here in this zone.
Here's a triple attempt, and that's off the mark. Offensive rebound, the putback, and that is up and in. So great job there. That was Armani Brickhouse with the basket, the first 2 points of the game for the Vikettes.
Yeah, second chance opportunities almost always lead to big buckets, and there was one there.
Here's a drive, tough shot there in traffic. Zerinskis can't get it to go, and the Vikettes off and running. Driscoll had the basketball, just a sophomore. She's a returning starter from a year ago as well, off to Zoke. She had 11 the first time these two teams tangoed in the heart of Allentown. Early on, I think the Trojans' defense has done a good job with the 2-3, not allowing any real good looks. They had a 3 attempt that was a decent open shot, but for the most part, they had not been able to penetrate inside.
Yeah, I think they've only had 3 shots, and one of them was that putback.
Limiting the paint touches down there and the ability of the experienced players like Roth and Zoke to make some moves down below. Combined, those two women averaged 19.5 points a game. Ill-advised pass. The Vikettes get it back. Now Driscoll gets caught on the baseline, and again the ball's loose, and it's going to be a jump ball, possession arrow to Parkland.
And you love to see the fight there, too, from both teams and balls on the floor, diving on the floor for the basketball, getting that tie up.
And they have done a very good job hassling the offensive attack of the Vikettes. A lot of balls have been either loose or turned over early on. We're only 5 minutes into the game. It was a steal attempt, a little awry, as Wilkinson kicks it back out.
Yeah, both teams getting a lot of deflections, and, a lot of teams are starting to keep that as a stat, deflections, because that, really throws off the rhythm of the offense. So it's better than, or it's not better than getting a steal, but it's another one of those key defensive statistics.
Well, sometimes it creates the steal or the turnover, right? It's as good many times.
Yeah, just getting in the passing lanes, making somebody change their eyes. They can fumble the ball out of bounds.
And especially in the zone defense, if you can have active hands, makes it tougher to find the passing lanes, and so far the Vikettes have been unable to do that early on. Good defense there on Hoeing, another senior for the Vikettes. And a good look inside and a foul. Hoeing on a nice dive, got the feed, and she'll go to the free throw line.
And each team prepares, for what they think the other coach is thinking they're going to do. And it seems like the Vikettes, maybe we're not ready for a 2-3 zone. And now that they're starting to kind of settle into it, they have a little bit more of a deliberate attack going to some of their zone sets. And there was one of the ones there where they got to the baseline and had a cutter from up top.
The left-hander, Hannah Hoeing, had entered the game 6 of 7. So just her second miss from the free throw line, 6 of 8, still a decent percentage at 75%. Trying to get the Vikettes their first lead tonight, and she does, 1 of 2. And 3-2 Vikettes here early on. Oh, nice little crossover here. Out in the open court, here's a 3-ball put up, just off the mark. Wilkinson got a good look, but an offensive rebound. That's Siggins, and then she's hounded, and eventually a foul on the retaliation. So first personal on Maddie Siggins, who has not had an opportunity to get that offense going tonight. And the ball back to the Vikets.
That was a nice little double crossover there by Laney out in the front there, and got a good kick to Zoe Wilkinson. It looked like it was going down.
I tell you what, and you could tell by what you hear the coaches when they talk about Chilcott, she doesn't play like a freshman, right? I mean, they lose a point guard, and they're lucky to come away with it, and there's Chilcott coming away with a steal. So again, Laney Chilcott making an impact in the game, but it's poked away, and now a 3-on-1 the other way. To the rack, and the basket too strong by Brickhouse. And a good job coming back to track down the rebound for Parkland. Terrific hustle there. And the ball out of bounds. It'll be Vikets basketball, or was there a foul? Yep, there was a foul on the Vikets. A push.
Yeah, it looks like every rebound and then every outlet to get out on the break has been contested. They're fighting on every possession every time it changes hands.
Yeah, I believe that was Zarinskas in the corner who kept that thing alive for Parkland. Tough to see. We're a little far removed, and some of these numbers could use an enlargement. Let's bump up the font size next year. Talia Zarinskas, a sophomore. There's Wilkinson putting it to the deck. Lost the handle, but on a reach. The foul's going to be called against Zoke. And, you know, they said that Wilkinson can be a wild card for this team. She can be a little streaky. And you could see early on she's been very confident with the basketball. I think that's probably a good sign for Ed Olson.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say, that was a great move by, a player that's a bigger player, 6 foot. She's got some good footwork.
Siggins couldn't get it to go. Brickhouse, the sophomore, the only non-returning starter, able to pick up the rebound. And so it stays 3-2 as the drought has gone on for Parkland after that early bucket. Low scoring first quarter. First quarter brought to you by Reichenbach Oil Company, celebrating 100 years of providing the Lehigh Valley with convenient and reliable home heating oil delivery. Proud to support all District 11 athletics. Mention you heard us on the D11 Sports broadcast and receive $25 off your next oil delivery. That shot contested and short, and the rebound comes away to Parkland. Siggins applying the defense in the paint there.
Both teams are getting some decent looks at the bucket. I think they just both know it's a big game, and they're rushed up a little bit, sped up a little bit. They need to settle down and take their time and finish.
It's been an unforgiving rim as well. There have been a couple that look like they might drop. That's, again, Wilkinson battling for positioning, has the size, wants to utilize it. So off the screen, the shot is up and no good. Zarinskas and Parkland scrumming for that loose ball, and another tie-up. This time to the Vikets, but they got a good look off the screen. It just wouldn't go for Zarinskas.
Yeah, they did a good job of posting Wilkinson and then running Zarinskas off of her after it got reversed, and she had a good look. Both teams scrapping for every possession still, diving on the floor again for a jump ball.
Clock down to 6. Ball is knocked loose. Will they get a shot? The Vikets near the buzzer. It's an air ball. Rebounded by Spang, and Parkland does a good job on defense. So of all the scenarios that we talked about, Ben, I don't think any of them were 3-2 after one. The defense has been sharp. We'll be back to talk more about it. We'll take a timeout. 3-2 Central Catholic, as this is the D11Sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine.
St. Luke's knows that trust is the foundation of all relationships. It's earned over time. It's the type of relationship you should have with your healthcare team. While our healthcare needs are different, one thing is constant. St. Luke's is focused on building a lasting relationship with you, earning your trust and putting your well-being first. When it comes to great healthcare, trust is essential. St. Luke's, the care you trust, now more than ever.
Since 1919, the name Reichenbach Oil has been synonymous with reliability and community. That's because for the past 100 years, we've been delivering heating oil to Lehigh Valley homes at ultra-competitive pricing 7 days a week, with auto delivery and easy payment options to fit your needs. And we offer same-day delivery. When you need oil delivered, think Reichenbach. 100 years of serving the Lehigh Valley community. Reichenbach Oil, delivery you can count on.
Matt Province, Ben Tanis back with you here from Parkland High School. 3-2 Vikets lead, and quarter brought to you by our good friends at Reichenbach Oil Company, celebrating over 100 years by providing Lehigh Valley with convenient and reliable home heating oil delivery. Proud to support all District 11 athletics. as Siggins through traffic can't get it to go. Anyway, mention you heard us on the D11 Sports Broadcast and receive $25 off your next oil delivery. And again, more defense being applied really on both ends of the floor here tonight.
Yes, it's a defensive battle. If you love defense, you'll like this game. But Coach Olson out of the quarter there drew up a great play and was able to get a touch inside. Central Catholic doubled immediately, made it tough for the finish.
Roth has been held without too many shot attempts. She's one of the top players in this area. Led the team in scoring a year ago and was a first-team EPC All-Star for the Lehigh County Division. Oh, and by the way, was All-State in soccer. And by the way, they won the school's first ever state championship in the sport. Down low, high off the glass, no good for Roth. And again, rebounded. Is that Siggins inside? It is, and she has picked up another foul. And, Siggins hasn't scored yet, but doing a lot of work on the glass.
Yeah, they definitely feel her impact on the game, drawing a lot of pressure inside, both defensively and offensively rebounding, but also posting up and giving them opportunities to play inside out.
I believe Coach Kopp said that she was a monster inside.
Yes.
And she has been doing a great job. Hasn't shown up in the scoring department, but there's a lot more to basketball. Good defense, good rebounding so far.
And as the game goes on, you'd hope those opportunities open up there for her.
Spang able to avoid the swipe, or that was Chilcote, I beg your pardon. Now it's Wilkinson. Nothing there. A lob inside, beautiful pass, up off the window and in, and Siggins scores, but what a feed by Chilcote.
Yeah, that was great high-low action that they talk about trying to get all the time, and, I talked about them being sped up earlier in the game. Siggins did a great job of taking an extra dribble there to calm herself down to be able to finish that off. Really nice play.
Parkland back in front. Roth being hounded by Chilcote on defense, so she's doing it both ends of the floor. More active hands, and Parkland continues to apply the pressure defensively. This time, Jessie Schmidt, a senior.
And you talk about length and you talk about size, and sometimes we always think about that as just, two people going after it inside, but they're using their length in this zone, kind of like how Syracuse uses their length in their zone. They're trying to deflect as many passes as possible, and they've kept Central Catholic kind of stuck in the right corner for most of the game.
Good finish on the second impact there was Julia Roth, who gets the putback, and, she's going to get going at some point. That's her first bucket here tonight. And it was a shame, too, because Siggins had done a great job on defense coming over with a little weak side help, walling up, no fouls. And that one too strong by Zerinskis, who has one of 2 field goals for the Trojans here so far in the game.
Yeah, Central's going to continue to look to get the basketball into the middle of that zone, see if they can exploit something there. When they get it there, again, kind of go high-low like Parkland did, just a little bit closer, more so at the foul line as opposed to the three-point line.
And look at them coming out a little bit, creeping up a little further up out of that 2-3 zone. Hassling everything. Here's a shot attempt from deep. It's Zoke. It's off the mark, but another offensive rebound. Put back, no good. And another rebound. Siggins on the glass. Doing her thing there. Now posting up, wants the ball. Siggins wants to get more involved in this basketball game. Open look up top, bullseye! And the triple is knocked down. That's Jessie Schmidt on her 6th three-point bomb of the year.
And the three-point shot is so big. It's even bigger when you're in a game like this where, scoring is at a premium. So being able to open things up a little bit further, the Vikettes are going to have to come out on her now. That should open up some of that spacing for Parkland's inside game.
How about that backdoor cut? A beautiful feed off the post by Koproth, who just checked in the game, and the finish by Hoeing.
Yeah, they were back in that right corner there, but they were able to relieve some of that pressure by getting the basketball more in kind of that mid-post there, and then there was a great backdoor cut for a layup.
Hoeing 3 of the 7 points for Central Catholic, and then nearly a steal created on defense. Zerinskis to Wilkinson, can't get it to go, and poked it out, but it will still be Vikette basketball following the Hoeing rebound.
Zerinskis has a great first step, really was able to excel, get to the middle of the paint, and she kind of had her pick of either post player to go with there.
Broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Broski Insurance, home, auto, life, and business. Broski Insurance Agency has you covered with more than 50 years of experience. Give their friendly staff a call at 610-264-3940 or visit their website, broskis.com. Inns.com, BroskiInns.com. Broski Insurance, tradition and pride since 1965.
A little over aggressive there by Siggins. I think that's her second, and they got to make sure that she's able to stay in the game.
Really patient offense for the Vikets. They have not tried to force too much, especially after the early misfires. Turned the ball over on 2 of their first 3 possessions and now have been a little bit more deliberate.
Yeah, definitely doing a better job of taking care of the basketball now that they know what Parkland's doing defensively.
Patiently waiting, tried to get the ball to the free throw line. That being denied. Good defense there on Koproth. Now she comes up, screen not doing, so she gets it down low and tried the same pass that they had a moment ago. This time Hoeing was not on the same page.
Yeah, that same play, you either want to go short corner to middle or middle to short corner. There they tried to get the ball to the middle in the short corner, just a little too quick.
And for the most part, Parkland's done a good job denying that paint touch, which is usually the trigger for a kick out. As you talked about, that's worked for some open shots early on, but for the most part, they've denied that ball.
And that's something that definitely going to look to continue to exploit. Coach Kopp's going to look to make sure to focus on that when they talk about it at halftime.
Siggins misfiring from deep, now battling down low. Boy, what a battle between her and Koproth.
Yeah, she's got to be careful, make sure she doesn't pick up her third here.
That's a good point. Still the second quarter. They don't need their leading scorer, second leading scorer in foul trouble. Her and Zerinskis neck and neck for the Parkland scoring lead, and both terrific players.
Yeah, Central's doing a better job of spacing here and getting players into better positions so they can't be trapped and they can find those holes in the zone. They're making Parkland work a lot more than they did in the first quarter.
But without those marksmen from deep, I think the defense being applied here by Ed Olson has been terrific. I mean, he's basically giving them shots up top if they want to take them, and they have not opted to fire away from 3.
Yeah, they've had looks, and they're just not taking them because they know that's not their strength.
Here's a triple. It's Roth, and it's too strong off the heel. Then Wilkinson, another rebound. She's been tough as well on the glass. In transaction, beautiful look down to Siggins, who puts it in. Another terrific assist by Chilcote. Boy, does she see the floor.
Yeah, that's a great rim run by Siggins and a fantastic find by Laney.
Laney Chilcote, a couple of assists here. And 2 of them coming from very long passes from backcourt to front court. She found Siggins. She found Zerinskis earlier.
And when it's tough to score in the half-court game, it makes it so much easier when you can get out and get on some breaks, see the basketball go through the net. That sometimes can help get you into a rhythm.
I'll tell you what, if Parkland has a lead, I'd love to hear what Nick Rivera has in store with Ed Olson.
Well, he might be out of breath because he said he was going to sprint over there if they're up at halftime.
Well, a foul here, still yet to be determined, as that's Roth who will go to the free throw line. Yeah, that was a big joke because Nick Rivera, of course, in one corner of the floor, and he said, look, if I have a lead at half, you don't have to worry about me running there. I'll fly there. After falling behind 17-2 in the first game, you could appreciate the sense of humor. Roth, too strong.
And they got everything going right now to make that happen, to be able to secure that lead going into the half here.
Make it a 71% free throw shooter. 1 of 2. She's got 3 points. And it's a 1-point Parkland lead, 41 seconds to go. It'll be interesting to see what kind of pace, if they want to be very patient and hold for a final shot or not. Zerinskis was probing but had nowhere to go. Now Chilcote has been slippery. Chilcote to the corner. Siggins thought about it. Opted not to shoot.
It's a luxury to have 2 guards that are able to run the clock down here to be able to get what they want at the end of a half, at the end of a quarter.
And it will be interesting when Mo Olenwine is back. They'll have a lot of options to possess the basketball.
Yeah, you can never have too many guards that can handle the basketball and make good decisions.
There's been a great defensive possession. Wilkinson went to force but traveled with .3 on the clock. That was 40 seconds of excellent hard-nosed defense by Mike Cobb's Vikets.
Yeah, to force a shot fading away from, 35 feet. It's crazy.
That will not count, and our first half is in the books. And how about the work being done by the Parkland Trojans, who have held this high-scoring Vikets team to 8 and have a 9 medicine provider covering more than 200,000 student enrollment and 40,000 student athletes in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Covering 8 counties and providing the most comprehensive and advanced treatment for athletic injuries, St. Luke's offers athletic training, orthopedic care, physical therapy, and concussion management, plus sports performance training for individual athletes and teams. During these extraordinary times, you can trust St. Luke's Sports Medicine to provide extraordinary care.
Looks like we may have lost Coach Olson. Yeah. He's probably just a little tad excited to be able to run into the locker room up 1 at this point.
Yeah, it was funny. Lesson number 1, Nick, is that when you are going to get there, make sure that you box out on that path to the locker room. He got him. Hey, look at this. Holy Toledo, that's impressive. The sophomore getting to work. So Nick Rivera will have Ed Olson. Right now, it's been a terrific attack by really the backcourt, because you've seen Chillicothe hasn't scored but has been able to set up Siggins for 4 points, Zerinskis with 2, and then Jessie Schmidt hitting the lone triple for either team in the half for her only 3 points. But that one extra point is the difference in the game as Parkland leads 9-8. And the pep squad, or the marching pep squad, getting ready to go, the dance squad, I should say. And now Nick Rivera has Ed Olson.
Thoughts in the first half?
Tough game like we thought it would be. Defensive battle, both teams very good. I think our zone's been effective. They play tough man-to-man. We knew it was going to be hard to score. I think we got to be a little more patient on offense, and I think we'll be all right.
All right, thanks, Dave. Good luck in the rest of the game. Back to you.
All right, so good job by Nick Rivera, able to procure Ed Olson for us, his team leading 9-8. And we'll step aside here at the half. When we get back, we'll have some thoughts here. Matt Province, Ben Tanis, and Parkland in the first end of our doubleheader here on District11Sports.com, leading 9-8. And you are watching the D11Sports.com Games of the Week, presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine.
At St. Luke's Orthopedic Care, you can trust us with your hands, feet, shoulders, hips, and knees. Because healthy bones and joints mean you can do more. You can trust us to recommend the right approach to care, including joint-sparing treatments and therapies. And when surgery is the only choice, we offer options to help you heal faster, including technology-assisted joint replacements and muscle-sparing hip surgery. St. Luke's, the orthopedic care you trust, now more than ever.
For all the moments of your life, through thick and thin, Broski Insurance has been there. Since 1965, it has been our honor to be there for you and your family, both in the good times and the tough times.
Home, auto, life, and business. Broski Insurance Agency. Tradition and pride since 1965. Online at broskiins.com.
Matt Province and Ben Tanis back with you here as the pep band entertains the fans at Parkland High School following a dance squad performance. And, you don't never really know what's going to happen. You play a game in division, 2 rivals. You can kind of throw out records, and sometimes you get games like this. And for Parkland needing
position earlier on, could have gotten themselves a little bit bigger of a lead here. But these teams and coaches know each other so well. It's a bit of a rivalry game, so you're always going to get kind of these games when it comes down to these divisional games, these league games. They can at times be a struggle, and we're definitely seeing an offensive struggle here.
Yeah, 4 points for Maddie Siggins leads all scorers, both of them coming from the floor on field goals, 3 for Jessie Schmidt, 2 for Talia Zerinskis. Meanwhile, for the Vikets, they have been led in scoring by a couple scorers with 3. Hannah Hoeing, who had a free throw to go along with a field goal. Same for Julia Roth. Meanwhile, Armani Brickhouse had a couple of points, just 8 scored overall, as Parkland has a 9-8 lead. And another reminder that tonight's games are brought to you in part by Broski Insurance, home, auto, life, and business. Broski Insurance Agency has you covered with more than 50 years of experience. Give their friendly staff a call at 610-264-3940 or visit their website at Broski INS for insurance, broskiins.com. Broski Insurance, tradition and pride since 1965. Now, Ben, you've patrolled the sidelines of a high school basketball program. If you are Ed Olson, you're back there in the locker room. What are you saying? What's the message now that you're up after the half, but you know not to take anything for granted?
He must not have had much to say. They're back out already. I think he's very happy with the way that they played their zone and knows that, like, offensively things are going to start to happen. I think he can see some fire in his team and just wanted them back out on the floor, get some shots up, be able to kind of break through that offensive battle they're going through.
Now, if you're Mike Kopp, whose girls are now back out on the floor as well, you knew that this was going to be a tough game. You know, I don't think he Lou Holtzed us into saying that this game is going to be a very competitive game. But you've had struggles on offense. Is there anything you can do to tweak what's going on to penetrate this 2-3 zone a little bit more efficiently?
Yeah, I think obviously he's got enough experience to know how to now tweak some things to be able to attack that 2-3 zone. So it's all about the game is all about adjustments. And, you know, coming out of halftime here, you're definitely going to see them try to get back to that area where they're trying to get the ball to the middle of the floor and then go short corner on some of those back doors. And they'll be more deliberate with that, and they'll be ready for it. And, you know, the experience of Central should be able to make that happen. I think they're also going to pick up that half-court pressure and try and get a couple more turnovers. And like I said, I really think it's going to come down to transition. Which one of these teams is going to be able to convert some of those turnovers into easy buckets?
Last time these two teams played on January 7th, the Vikets had 17 points in the first 4 minutes and 15, let's just say, seconds. 17 points combined at the half tonight so far. 9-8 Parkland a lead. We're going to step aside for another break. When we get back, Ben and I will have you all caught up for second half action. It's a tight one here in the first of two games. This is District 11 Sports, your D11sports.com Games of the Week, presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
Since 1919, the name Reichenbach Oil has been synonymous with reliability and community. That's because for the past 100 years, we've been delivering heating oil to Lehigh Valley homes at ultra-competitive pricing 7 days a week, with auto delivery and easy payment options to fit your needs. And we offer same-day delivery. When you need oil delivered, think Reichenbach. 100 years of serving the Lehigh Valley community. Reichenbach Oil. Delivery you can count on.
Matt Province, Ben Tanis back with you, getting close to start of second half action. A minute and a half to go before the two teams back out there for good. And, you know, we've talked about the implications of this game. We've talked about how hot Central Catholic has been. Well, let's go look at the EPC standings and get a look not only with what's going on here in the West, but overall. And how about Northampton? What a year so far for the Concrete Kids there.
Yeah, and Northampton's always been, you know, a really strong girls program, and they're kind of continuing that tradition. And they've been they got off to a great start to start the year, and they're just kind of continuing to keep it rolling.
And so if you're Central, even though you've had the 10-game winning streak, you're still looking up at somebody else, being Northampton. Parkland has fallen into that three-way tie with Emmaus, Whitehall as well. So those two teams right now really playing for positioning. William Allen 0-5 has not been able to get off the schneid yet this season. Easton a perfect 5-0 and a perfect 15-0 overall in the East. Becca, you know that Coach Medina is going to have that team ready to play. They're right on the Red Rovers' heels, a little separation between them and the rest of the pack. And then in the North, you've got a few teams standing out with PM West leading the way at 4-0. And then Stroudsburg out of 4-1, East Stroudsburg South 3-1. So you saw the graphic a minute ago. Some tight competition up top in the East Penn Conference in all three divisions really here in 2021-22. And getting set as we'll have the second half action. And you know, so far so good. You know, you never know what you're going to get with these games. And you told me, you know, Matt, look, you can throw out the records, you can throw out the standings. They're two teams that have proud traditions, good athletes, and depth. it's not going to be what it was in the first game, at least early on. And so far, Ben, you've been right.
Yeah.
That's why you coach and I talk, right?
Yeah, and even though it is 9-8, it's a great game. Sometimes you have those nights where it's back and forth offensively. Tonight is back and forth defensively.
And the shots haven't been bad. The defense has been really hounding on both sides. It started with Parkland in this 2-3 zone, playing high up in it and causing a lot of issues for the Vikets to try to work the ball in. They've not been able to get Roth or Zook nearly as active as they can be. And there's some good hands, active hands there as Zarinskas slaps it away and gets another turnover.
Yeah, and I know Coach Kopp doesn't want them to settle for three-pointers, but I think at some point they're going to have to let it fly a little bit just to open it up a little bit.
Yeah, they have got to make that defense honest because they continue to come further and further up, not allowing anything to happen as Zarinskas tries to probe, and that's been the Vikets on defense, though. They've been able to deny a lot. Wilkinson on the move, lost the handle. But right there is Siggins, and Siggins got 6 as the Trojans go up by 3.
That's another great move by Wilkinson, away from the basket, being able to put on a jab step, get to the middle of the floor, and I don't know if she wanted to pass it to Ziggins, but she got it to her and got the layup.
The indirect assist, if you will. But we've been saying that even though she hasn't scored, Wilkinson's been active. She's been trying to make things happen for her team. As here's a 3-ball, it's up, it's down! Splash! Molly Driscoll, her first field goal comes from downtown. And just what you talked about, Coach, there's the triple to try to get things loosened up a little bit.
Yeah, and again, it's just being able to see it go through once. That'll give them a little bit of life and, poke a hole in this zone.
13th triple of the year, which leads the team for Molly Driscoll, her first points tonight. Game back tied at 11.
And now I don't think you'll see Coach Olson go away from the zone, but they'll certainly shift towards her.
Nothing doing for Wilkinson. Impenetrable defense that time, played by Julia Roth. Here's Zarinskas from the free throw line, can't get it to go. Siggins had to be careful. They're nearly over the back. Remember, she's playing with 2 fouls.
Yeah, you don't want to pick that one up here in the third, or so early in the third quarter. And move Driscoll up top now to make sure that those 2 guards have to get to her. Can't allow her to get off another 3.
See Hoeing up top trying to get the ball. Roth trying to get away from the defense, gets hounded, double teamed, has to get rid of it. Again, a long but very effective defensive series for Parkland.
Yeah, they were able to get the basketball inside of the high post, but they collapsed immediately and had to kick the basketball back out.
And now a timeout call for as Mike Kopp wants to talk things over. Third quarter action here, 11-11, 5:09 to go in the quarter, brought to you by Reichenbach Oil Company. Celebrating over 100 years of providing the Lehigh Valley with convenient and reliable home heating oil delivery. Proud to support all District 11 athletics. Mention you heard us on the D11 Sports broadcast and receive $25 off your next oil delivery. Now more of the same for Parkland on defense here in the third quarter. They did shoot on top of it for their only 3 points, the Driscoll triple. But overall, Parkland continues to be very active on the defensive side of the court.
Yeah, and both of them are doing a great job of making things tough for, like you said, paint touches. You always want to try to get as many 2-feet touches into the paint as you possibly can, because that really makes the defense have to work and recover. And neither team has really been able to do that tonight.
No, and most of the starters have played the bulk of the game. So, again, to play that kind of defense takes a lot of activity, and it takes obviously a lot of energy, too, when you're playing it as well as Parkland has. But they've kept up the ferocity throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, we'll see if that takes a toll come the fourth quarter. That's when these games, when you're not subbing too much, that's when it really shows up.
Here's a triple attempt taken from downtown off the mark. That was Brickhouse. And a kick out. Here's Zarinskas in the open floor. Crosses it over. Chilcote was nearly set up for a 3, then gets pushed down. It'll be a foul on Zook. Zook, who had the game-tying goal with 2:43 left in the title game. They were trailing the entire game for their soccer state championship, first in school history. And then just, a minute and so later, 2 seconds later, Sammy Roth, who's on this basketball team, sister of Julia Roth, had the game-winning goal And it was the first championship in program history and the first for Lehigh Valley girls team since Emmaus in '97.
That's crazy. And that's, we talk about their experience on the basketball floor. That kind of experience, on a soccer field is just as much, if not more, being able to get that kind of success and be in these kind of tight situations in these games and have that composure.
Yep. Yeah, and maybe 8 of these players were on that soccer team, some ridiculous amount. So, like you said, that's got to give them a mental edge. Zerinskis kept it alive, may have gotten pushed, and now a full-out scrum. Bodies flying as Driscoll comes away with it 3-on-2. Here's Brickhouse, the jumper off the mark, and it's rebounded by Siggins, who's collected boards like a carpenter here tonight. Oh, good look ahead.
I'm really impressed by both those guards being able to throw the basketball ahead.
Jessie Schmidt with a huge basket. She's got 5. And Parkland back in front 13-11, but the court vision has been terrific.
Yeah, Zerinskis and Chilcote there, both of them have a great ability to be able to throw the basketball ahead. And that's something, is a very challenging thing to do. And this is a freshman and sophomore being able to do that.
Future bright. And a good hard closeout forces another turnover as Driscoll throws it away.
And Schmidt coming up with another big shot. She made a big 3 in the first half. That's another big shot there in transition to be able to score before the Vikings can set up their defense.
See, Chilcutt and Zerinskis play so well off of each other, and we were told that, that's one thing that Olsen said. Yeah, we miss Olenwine, but we have 2 gals who can really do it with the basketball. Good handles. They can kind of relieve each other of point guard duties for stretches, and you've seen their ability to get the ball into scoring situations. We've seen that a lot tonight.
Yeah, I'd love to see what they look like when they got all 3 of them there playing together.
Siggins in trouble, able to get it to Schmidt through traffic. And again, with a 2-point lead, Parkland playing very patiently.
Coach Olsen talked about that at halftime there, that he wanted them to be a little bit more patient offensively, be able to get some for sure buckets as opposed to just the best one available.
Here's a 3. Zerinskis off the mark. Tried to draw contact and a foul. It's out of bounds. It'll be Viket basketball. That would have got this place jumping.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I don't know if that, if he wanted them to be even more patient there, but she looked like she had a pretty good look at it. And she hasn't been able to shoot all that, get any to fall tonight, but her shot looks good, looks smooth. It's just a matter of time before one goes down.
Paige Spang will come in and give a little relief to Jessie Schmidt, the senior. Spang played a lot in the first half. Another senior on this team.
And it looks like he's already kind of starting to go with offense-defense with Schmidt and Spang.
Driscoll, who had hit the 3 earlier this quarter, got it to the corner, but nothing doing for Zoke. Both teams have really been patient on offense, not trying to force anything. That's McKenna Reed flashing to the high post, didn't get the ball. First time we've seen her. She's a junior.
The Vikings kind of take a chance, and they got to get closer. They're operating their offense from way too far away. When they get a chance when they're this close, they got to take gaps. There's Driscoll open again.
She has the shot. Front rim's the thing, but an offensive rebound. The putback by Zoke rattles around, no good. Another attempt, the 3rd, no good. How about a 4th try? And it's in. Maddie Zoke, her first field goal today, comes at a big time to tie it. It took 4 cracks before finally getting it down.
Yeah, she stayed out after it on the offensive end, and it looked like both bigs for Parkland were on the other side of the floor, couldn't get over there to help out.
Spang had it momentarily knocked away. Here's Wilkinson. She'll try the long-range jumper off the mark. And you can see the students were all up ready to go crazy, but again, they just can't get the triples to go down.
Yeah, Wilkinson did a good job being able to handle the pressure there and kind of shook her defender and just missed it.
She's had some big games, has Wilkinson. 17 in their last win, which was against Emmaus back on the 13th. 8 at Whitehall, coming off 6 in the loss at Easton. 40 seconds to go. Tied up in the 3rd quarter, waning moments. It's been tight, always a 1-possession game from the get.
Yeah, has there been a lead bigger than 2 or 3?
No, that's been it. Both teams have had a field goal lead. A good pass in, a little too far, but here's another offensive rebound. The putback no good. And now the offensive boards have given the Vikettes a chance to take a lead through the third quarter.
Yeah, a little high-low action there. And again, those second chance points, they're doing a great job playing this zone defense. The one thing that they're struggling with is being able to rebound out of it.
Now, you made that point earlier, and that's kind of been a recurring theme. The pros and cons of the defense being applied. It has prevented the Vikettes from good looks, but at the same time, it's given them second opportunities.
Yeah, and I don't know if the Trojans have run zone much this season, and it's definitely something that, again, you need a lot of reps with. So this might be one of the first times that they've played primarily zone, and another offensive rebound.
And another miss. Now Siggins being hounded, in a bit of trouble, looking for help. Let's see if they can get it across. As Wilkinson, look out behind, and there's a reach and foul. It's going to go against Roth, to the delight of the Parkland bench with 7.5 to go.
Coach Olsen is fired up. He feels like Siggins was getting hounded down there. I did as well. It looked like she got fouled a couple times. They called one later on.
You got to hurry here with 5 seconds. Talia Zarinskis puts it to the floor, gets it stripped with 1.5 seconds left. The buzzer's going to expire before the shot. So we will go to the fourth. Still knotted, 13 apiece. And before we head to a break, we'll remind you tonight's game brought to you by Broski Insurance, home, auto, life, and business. Broski Insurance Agency has you covered with more than 50 years of experience. Give their friendly staff a call at 610-264-3940 or visit their website, broskisins.com. Broski Insurance, tradition and pride since 1965. We're back with the fourth quarter here on the D11Sports.com Game of the Week, presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine.
St. Luke's knows that trust is the foundation of all relationships. It's earned over time. It's the type of relationship you should have with.
Yeah, 0-0, 8 minutes to go. Every possession is going to be huge here. Any score here seems like a mountain for the other team to climb.
Yeah, as we've said, there hasn't been a 2-score lead for either team yet.
Great pass.
Good look inside. The finish not there. Siggins a second effort and gets fouled. Can't get it to go, but it'll be 2 from the line for the sophomore Maddie Siggins.
Another great job by Schmidt offensively, being able to find Siggins there. And Coach Olsen is a point guard. His son, Eddie Olsen, one of the best point guards ever to play in the area. His teams seem to know how to play with their head up when they got the basketball and find the open man.
Siggins is a 79% free throw shooter. She's got a game-high 7 points, and she hits both. She's got 8. That lead back to Parkland by 2.
2 big foul shots in a pressure situation, like I said, and any points at this point in time, are huge.
This 2-3 zone has been the key so far for the Trojans. They've really limited the good looks taken by the Vikettes here tonight.
Now Driscoll's kind of faded over to the side. Let's see if they can find her. Good close out there.
Positioning down low. They don't throw it in. That was Zoke who wanted it. Make that Kopfroth, who's come into the game. Kopfroth had a run in the first half, a couple of rebounds.
Yeah, she does a good job of showing her hands when she's inside, trying to get the basketball in there.
Roth can't get it to go. Siggins another rebound, and again she's fouled. I tell you, Maddie Siggins might lead the game in scoring, but her work on the glass is a big reason why they lead.
Yeah, she's getting every rebound that comes anywhere close to her. And like I said before, the Vikings are really clamping down on her early so that they can't get out into a break or get the ball to those guards, and she's been really strong with the ball.
Parkland the lead and possession, 6:47 to go. Zarinskis running point here. And I'm sure they will be very happy to take their time and get as good a look regardless of how long it takes. Chilcote on the bounce pass. Siggins, one more to Wilkinson, puts it up and in. Oh, what a look by Siggins, and it started with the penetration by Chilcote.
Yeah, great penetration and great extra pass by Siggins there. She's been scoring. She's got the confidence to throw to one of her teammates to finish it off. That's a great play.
First time tonight either team has had a multiple possession lead. It's 4 for Parkland. First field goal for Wilkinson, who's worked hard to get that opportunity tonight. Now the other way, Roth throws it off the glass. That's no good. It's another rebound for Siggins, and here comes Chilcote away with the basketball. And she was falling down, very nearly traveled when she was going to the ground, and a perfect bounce pass to the backdoor cut by Siggins, who then was unselfish, as you talked about it. One more pass, and got a good look from Wilkinson.
Yeah, these younger players with a couple more games under their belt, playing with a lot of confidence, a lot more poise.
Contact, no call. A run out, 2-on-2. Beautiful look, and the shot rejected from behind. Return to center. Wilkinson hustling on the play, gets it out of bounds.
That would have been a big layup, and Wilkinson just worked her way back to be able to block that shot.
Hey, I saw volleyball Mike in here doing a game for Service Electric. You might want to get her on that volleyball court. Does she play? Maybe she already plays. I don't know.
She might.
She looks pretty good on that rejection.
Absolutely.
Side out, Parkland. Here it'll be Viket basketball, timeout being called for. But down the stretch we go. The Trojans with a 17-3 lead, a 17-13 lead to talk it over. And this fourth quarter brought to you by our good friends at Reichenbach Oil Company, celebrating over 100 years of providing the Lehigh Valley with convenient and reliable home heating oil delivery. Proud to support all District 11 athletics. Mention you heard us on the D11 Sports broadcast and receive $25 off your next oil delivery. Now, Mike Kopp tried to cool our jets before the game, right? He said, hey, you guys are rolling. You guys are doing big things. He was pretty much like, you know, as a coach, this is what you fear, though, because you don't want to get too confident. When things go well, there's a tendency that eventually you're going to slide down the apex of the slope, and he's had a hard time tonight.
Yeah, and, you know, you can see the potential of what Parkland has, and you know, he alluded to some of the teams that they were playing in that 10-game stretch weren't the greatest. We're still struggling through some things, and that alluded to that 10-game win. So we're seeing that right now.
Chilcote as a cool customer, another theft. She has played one heck of a game, the freshman Lainey Chilcote.
Yeah, long arms, quick side to side. She was able to get that steal. Oh, no, Central Catholic's not ready. They were able to get that ball in. I thought it was going to be a layup.
That could have been disastrous, but a good job getting back. I believe it was Roth who came back into the paint. Now, Zarinskis knocked around, no call. Second time she's gone and been thumped a little bit and turned it over. Now Roth, a stutter step. Still nowhere to go. And then it stripped Zarinskis, but right back to Roth. Nearly a terrific defensive play and a break for Parkland. Either way, very active with the hands all game long out of this 2-3 zone. Roth up top. Chilcote quick to the basketball. 2-on-1 come the Trojans. Chilcote to the rim. Rejected but fouled. She'll go to the line. Oh, what a game Lainey Chilcote has had here tonight.
Yeah, she was able to get to the basketball first. You could see her athleticism there, and then she did a great job being able to finish with her left hand on that left-hand side. That's what drew the foul.
You know, just a freshman playing in a big game like this is, Parkland trying to get back to the winning ways, knowing what's ahead of them with this tall order, and she has just been splendid both sides of the basketball.
Yeah, she really has, and you know, she does not look like a freshman out there, and I know we've alluded to that all game, but just
St. Luke's offers athletic training, orthopedic care, physical therapy, and concussion management, plus sports performance training for individual athletes and teams. During these extraordinary times, you can trust St. Luke's Sports Medicine to provide extraordinary care. And now, if you're Parkland, it's about extraordinary care of the basketball.
Absolutely. Good segue there. We're about to take a look at Lainey going to the foul line where she's 2 for 6 on the year. And Coach also talked about how they have not been able to get to the free throw line a lot this year. So that's going to come into play here. You saw Siggins knocked down 2 earlier, but she's been there 48 times this year. She's used to being at the foul line. Let's see if this freshman can come through yet again.
And against a three-point team that doesn't shoot three-pointers as well, not really part of their offensive arsenal, this becomes a really big, at least one becomes really big. Because then you make it a 5-point game, and without a three, well, you do the math, it's a 3-possession game.
Yeah, and especially with, you know, the opportunities for the three being there. Yeah, she did miss both there. You know, the Vikings would want to get a 3-point play as opposed to that three-pointer. That's much more difficult against a zone.
Now that, a significant break. It rattled around, went out of bounds off of Viket. So Parkland, despite the misses from the free throw line, has another crack at it here on this possession. They've had the ball in Zarinskis' hands a whole lot here in the fourth quarter. Letting her operate with her left. Nothing doing on the penetration.
Very quick with the basketball in her hand. She does like to go left. I want to see her go to the right because then she can finish with her right hand. She keeps on having to pull back and shoot that basketball with the right hand where she's been struggling a bit.
Gets now straight man-to-man. Trying to force a turnover here with 4:06 to go.
Oh, double
dribble, right?
Yeah.
Turnover there. So she went right, but didn't have the result we were looking for, which would have been an opportunity to drive to the basket.
Yeah, forget what I said. It looks like she's much more comfortable going to the left.
That's a big defensive stop for the Vikettes. And this is the thing. Can a young team put a veteran team away? Will Parkland be able to ice this one? That jumper, that's no good for Driscoll. And another rebound. Siggins just having a day on the glass.
Yeah, she is fantastic on the boards. What did Coach Kopp call her before? A monster inside, and she's showing that this year.
Sounds like a Netflix series, yeah. The Monster Inside. Season 1. Timeout for Parkland, as both teams have gotten a little sloppy on the last couple of positions. We've got to play at Northampton. We talked about how terrific Northampton has been this season. So these are two really big games to try to string a little momentum into that matchup. Meanwhile, for Central, they've got Northampton next. So it could be an angry bunch if they don't pull out a victory here, which could upset Northampton. Maybe they want Parkland. They would rather see Central win. They won't be as angry. But then at Whitehall, at Becca. So it doesn't get easy for Central. And going down the stretch, these games can be pretty important as they jockey for positioning in the EPC West.
There's a lot of great matchups coming up here in girls basketball to kind of figure out where people are going to finish at the end of the year.
We talked about it. If indeed the Vikettes didn't have the toughest string of games for 10 games, that means a bunch are coming up, and I think Mike Kopp alluded to that when he spoke with us earlier today. Down the stretch from Parkland High School, Matt Province, Ben Tanis, we thank you for watching this production of D11Sports.com. A terrific look by Chilcote, just couldn't get it there. Siggins, no good. And boy, that would have gone a long ways for Parkland, but it stays a 4-point game.
Yeah, Chilcote was able to get into the paint again. Being
3 points, she averages 12.3 per game. Zoke has scored 2, averages 7. Done a good job clamping down as Hoeing knocks down a huge elbow jumper.
Yep, that middle opened up and she was able to turn around, shoot it with confidence.
She's got a team high 5, and now a kickball. Now that it's back to a one-possession game, buckle right back up if you're a Parkland fan here at Parkland High School. They had some chances for a little separation, just couldn't get a shot to go.
Yep, and this is where that experience plays in. Are these younger guards going to be able to handle pressure? Is Central going to be able to ratchet it up a little bit to be able to get another turnover?
Zarinskis had a step, had the ball knocked loose, was able to calm down and regain possession for Parkland here before it got ugly. And here is Chilcote putting on a little clinic up top. Inside of 2 minutes to go here in this basketball game. I think this game is good. You got the boys to battle it out next. Great night of basketball here for your B11 Games of the Week presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine.
Yeah, this is a great rivalry for both sides, girls and boys.
Away from the ball. Looks like the whistle against Driscoll. And that is a little bit off the mark. An offensive rebound. Roth blocked from behind. That's Wilkinson. Another rejection. Her second here in the fourth quarter. And a foul. And they'll take a timeout. And while we have a timeout, imagine this. Imagine a little business to be taken care of here. And one of our terrific sponsors on District 11 Sports, of course, is Broski Insurance, who bring you tonight's game. Home, auto, life, and business. Broski Insurance Agency has you covered with more than 50 years of experience. Give their friendly staff a call at 610-264-3940 or visit their website, broskiins.com. Broski Insurance, tradition and pride since 1965. Ben, if you're sitting there in that huddle and you've got a dry erase board in your hands like Ed Olson, what are you telling the troops now with 1:07 to go?
Be strong with the basketball. They probably have some timeouts, excuse me, that they can call.
And That's been the key. He said about possessing the basketball, and really outside of it for the Trojans, they've been really limited the amount of turnovers that they have committed tonight as a team. It's been a great job.
Yeah, they have, and they probably here want to try and get the ball to Zerinskis or Chilcote, or I'm sorry, Siggins, since they made their foul shots the last time, 2 times they were up.
Yeah, we finally found a little glitch in Chilcote's game as a freshman. Work on those free throws, and she'll be a complete player. Pressure applied, timeout again, just before Zerinskis found herself in a double team in trouble. After the game, we're going to hear from Nick the Quick. Nick Rivera, sophomore here at Parkland, will be down to speak with our player of the game. Could it be Maddie Siggins? Well, if Parkland holds on, maybe. Could it be Hannah Hoeing? She's been tough for the Vikets. Well, either way, he'll have a report for you post-game. And if you're a student from any District 11 school and you're interested in broadcast journalism or perhaps photography, check out d11sports.com. Follow your dream and get as close to the action as you can. Take part in a student internship program. Really ought to, too. Great opportunities all throughout the high schools and colleges. Get your start here. For more information, contact your AD, your athletic director, or reach out to Al or Dave at d11sports.com. I think to Parkland on the defensive side, not wanting to commit stupid fouls as well. Be very careful. Don't lengthen this game. Don't give the Vikets a chance to score without time coming off the clock as well. So we talk about not turning over the basketball, but also being smart on the defensive side, for me, would be a key down the stretch here with 54 to go.
Absolutely, they did. Had a quick double team there.
And they get it to Siggins. They want her on the line. If it's anybody, or Zerinskis eventually will get fouled by Roth. And with 45.2 seconds left and a 4-point lead, here is Zerinskis, who's already 2 for 2 from the line tonight.
Yeah, and when you talk about those
for Talia Zerinskis, but 3 of 3 from the line here in the fourth quarter. Ice water in her veins, 4 of 4. Today a lead is 6 for either team, and this time it's Parkland. 45 seconds to go for this Parkland team to knock off the Vikets.
You see Coach Olson saying no threes, no fouls. That's what they want to make happen here.
The Vikets have to hurry. Finally, a 3 is launched at Zoke, and it rattles around, no good. Siggins, another strong rebound, knocked out of bounds. It's off the Vikets. Parkland basketball. And Siggins is doing it scoring, but a rebounding machine on the glass here tonight.
Yeah, that 3 just missed.
Good job by Chilcote to get the basketball into the hands of a more experienced shooter, and that shooter is going to be Zerinskis, who's 4 of 4, and now with 20 seconds to go, a chance to add to this lead.
Yeah, it's huge to have a player like Zerinskis who has incredible speed that you can't really trap her, so you really just have to end up trying to foul her, and she's been knocking it down from the free throw line. Jinxed her there.
Still 4 of 5. She came in 11 of 19, so has been very cool under fire here in the fourth quarter. Make it 5 of 6. So she's got 7 points now. 20 seconds to go. The lead is 7. And Mike Kopp, he's going to have his hands full here in this huddle. A lot has to happen in a little bit of time.
Yeah, I think we're at the point where you can't just settle for a 3. They just got to go to the bucket. They got to try to get a score quickly and then foul immediately.
Hey, stay tuned after our game, because the second game of our doubleheader on our D11sports.com Game of the Week, presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine, the boys will go at it. And you want to talk about a battle, the top 2 teams right now in the west of the EPC standings will have at it for a second time. And in that first game this season, they had a pretty tight affair.
Yeah, it was a 2-point game, at Central. So that's a pretty good showing for Parkland. And again, 8 or so games in between the last time that they played.
Yeah, that was as tight as they get. You talked about it. The final score in that game was 55-53. So obviously the Vikets have a little revenge on mine. And for Parkland, trying to keep hot and win at home would be huge for their chances here, as they are the morning call number 3 team in the region, whereas the Vikets right now, the morning call top-seeded team, or best team, number 1 ranked team, if you will. What a showdown. Heavyweight battle coming up next here. But first, this game. Taking a lot of time. Someone's got to launch.
Yeah, they should have just went right to the bucket.
And look at Zarinskis, fired up, still hustling, knocks it out of bounds. 6 seconds to go, and Parkland really seconds away from ending what has been a 3-game losing streak. Roth from way downtown, bullseye! Well, they go out with a bang. Unfortunately, not enough for the Vikettes. It's a 10-game winning streak gone for the Trojans. A 3-game losing streak gone. A big win for Parkland, taking this one by the final of 22-18. Quite a performance for Ed Olson and his troops today.
Yeah, that was great. They came out with a lot of heart, and you wonder if a lot of teams that see this game are going to play the Vikettes kind of the same way. That defense kind of seemed like their kryptonite. They were not able to get in there, and it was just a great team effort by that Parkland team.
Well, they talked about getting off to a quick start, not letting what happened last game where they fell behind by 15 early, and they did. They played nip and tuck. Heck, it was a 3-2 game after the first quarter. They possessed the basketball. They got to the free throw line, and Talia Zarinskis hit 5 of 6 to seal the game. Meanwhile, Maddie Siggins had a game-high 8 points. Didn't keep rebounds today, but I got to think she was close to 15 boards. I mean, she was eating the glass, and hopefully we'll hear from her in a moment. Nick Rivera has gone down to try to procure a post-game interview, but I tell you what, for a team that is inexperienced, to win a game like that, I think bodes well to where they're going to go in terms of their ability to make noise in 2022.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at the score, 22-18, but that's not really indicative of what the game was. I thought it was a really well-played game. It was just both teams on the defensive side of the ball. That's what their strength was, and they played to those strengths. So, like you said, that younger group of guards, younger group of players for Parkland, they really showed their maturity here in this game, being able to battle out a really good Central team that we talked about had success last year, had success on the soccer field. It's just a great win for Parkland.
Sure is, and with the W, the Trojans go to 9-7 overall, and now in their division, Trojans are an even 3-3. Central falls to 12-3 overall. Remember, they started 2-2. They then won 10 consecutive games, and the Vikettes fall to 4-2 in the EPC West, with a date with Northampton coming up next. Not exactly the spot you want to be in after losing your first game in over a month, but they'll regroup under Mike Kopp, who has seen this quite a bit over his legendary run for 46 years and 1,038 victories. If anybody's going to bounce his team back, it's probably a guy like Mike Kopp.
Yeah, he'll be able to go back to the drawing board and find some answers for his team, but his team's got resiliency. They got that championship pedigree, so they know they know what's ahead of them, and they know that they're going to have to beat Northampton now, to kind of keep pace with them, to give themselves a shot for the league.
All right, well, certainly a big win for the Trojans, and now we'll have the second half of our doubleheader coming up here in just a bit. But before we go from this first game, we do want to thank a sponsor from tonight's game in Broski Insurance, Home Auto Life and Business. Broski Insurance Agency has you covered with more than 50 years of experience. Give their friendly staff a call at 610-264-3940 or visit their website, Broski INS, BroskiINS.com. Broski Insurance, tradition and pride since 1965. We're going to step aside. Do want to thank our crew here, Nick Rivera, our student reporter, a sophomore at Parkland, did a nice job. We'll hear from him later during the boys' game. And, of course, our producer, Kevin Conley. And, of course, for my partner, Ben Tanis, great working with you for round one. We have another one coming up here in just a minute.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
So for Ben Tanis, Matt Province saying so long. Parkland women getting the huge victory today, 22-18 over the Vikettes. The boys ended the doubleheader coming up next on D11Sports.com.
At St. Luke's Orthopedic Care, you can trust us with your hands, feet, shoulders, hips, and knees. Because healthy bones and joints mean you can do more. You can trust us to recommend the right approach to care, including joint-sparing treatments and therapies. And when surgery is the only choice, we offer options to